Hi, am I on the air?
Yep.
Fuck.
Thanks.
I've been in the danger zone.
He got a bath.
Minus 5 stars.
Mango.
Huh? Got my five. We're coming for you,
Jeff Harvey.
How much is a Skyway?
Play.
21.
Action.
Well, what is going down, everybody? Welcome to a special edition of Am I Still on the Air? I'm your host, Don Mega, and you should know what it is by now when it comes to Am I Still on the Air. This is the special spot that you come to listen about a very specific topic. As you know, on my regular show, Am I on the Air, I tell you the news. We talk about movie news, TV news, all kinds of good stuff. And but when we do Am I Still on the Airs, we basically break down one specific topic. You know, the topic... Hold on one second. I'm just getting completely thrown off.
Daddy.
Aw, it's my daughter saying she loves me. My daughter's out of town right now with my wife, and she just sent me that she's going to bed.
Daddy.
Oh, I love you, Daddy. I love you too, baby. So, excuse me for getting caught off topic there, or off trend. I saw my wife was messaging me, so I wanted to see what was going on. Since they're out of town, I wanted to make sure everything was okay. So, back to the topic here at hand. When we do Am I Still on the Air, we focus on one specific topic. Usually I have some guests with me, we do spoiler reviews, we talk about Marvel, DC, whatever the focus needs to be. I made kind of an offhand comment a couple weeks ago on Am I on the Air that The Rock was doing so many roles lately, I was going to have to start a whole nother podcast that I was going to title Rock Rolls. And because there's so much to talk about, he could actually have his own podcast. But like I said it in like a joking kind of manner. But everybody was laughing about it and messaging me saying you should do Rock Rolls. So on my last Am I on the Air a couple nights ago, I mentioned on there, you know what? I decided I am going to do an Am I Still on the Air. I'm not going to do a whole separate podcast on a normal basis. Maybe it eventually will come to that. But right now, I wanted to do an Am I Still on the Air here solo by myself. I don't have no guest tonight, so I'm sorry. You're going to have to rock just with the Mega Man. But doing Am I Still on the Air focused solely on Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. Tonight's Am I Still on the Air is Rock Rolls! You know what it is. So tonight, basically, we're going to go through a trip. We're going to go through a journey of a man named Dwayne Johnson. Basically, talk about his film career, talk about everything he's done so far, leading into the millions and millions of projects that he has going on and coming up over the next couple years. I'm going to lay it all out for you. Hopefully you enjoy. It's just a fun little side project to do here tonight. Probably won't take very long, and but it's exciting. I love The Rock. He's probably one of my favorite actors going today. I'm a massive wrestling fan, so I've been familiar with The Rock ever since he debuted as Rocky Maivia back in the WWF days, and then became The Rock, the Great One, the People's Champion, and then obviously his transition into Dwayne Johnson. So let's talk about it. Let's jump right into it. The Rock got his first role in The Mummy Returns. This was the second Mummy film with Brendan Fraser and all them. He got a starring role as the Scorpion King. Very cool. He didn't do too much in this film. Basically, you see him in the beginning of the movie, and then he's a CGI half man, half scorpion by the end of the film, which looks really bad, even for the time. The reason why this one looks so bad is because there was a production schedule that was really overdue, and they needed to hurry up and get the movie done, and they didn't have any more budget to bring The Rock back in and do better motion capture and stuff, so they did this like half-ass CGI, and it looks really, really bad. But it was a fun starting point for The Rock to be involved with something as big as the Scorpion King being involved in The Mummy Returns, because The Mummy was such a massive hit, the first one, so it was very cool that he got to come back as that. Because his role in The Mummy Returns did so well, he got his first starring role in the Scorpion King movie. Yes, he got his own starring role in a solo Scorpion King movie, a spin-off of the Mummy franchise, as he played Matthias. This was back in 2002. So really, The Mummy Returns came out in 2001, and then in 2002 he busted out with the solo Scorpion King. He's actually, fun fact for you, in the Guinness Book of World Records for the Scorpion King, because he got paid $5 million to do this movie, which was the highest any actor in their first starring role got paid. So very, very cool. Congratulations to The Rock on that one. At this point, The Rock was doing double duty, as they say, as he was still wrestling full-time in the WWE, and he was making movies. So the Scorpion King was very successful, so he continued to do movies, and he did his first big major movie was The Rundown. That's where he's played a character named Beck, and this was with Seann William Scott and Rosario Dawson, Christopher Walken. I love The Rundown. This came out in 2003. I honestly pretty much love all these movies because The Rock is the man, so you'll probably hear me say I love this movie a lot. But The Rundown is a great movie. There's actually even been rumors that they might even try to do a sequel to this movie. Peter Berg directed it, who's gone on to do some really great stuff lately, like Lone Survivor, and he's got the new Deepwater Horizon coming out in September with Mark Wahlberg. They've definitely hinted at wanting to maybe do another Rundown movie, but The Rock is a very busy man, so we'll see if he can squeeze that one in. It's just in the rumor phase right now, but I love The Rundown. It's a great action comedy, and even Arnold Schwarzenegger basically passes the torch to The Rock in this film as the next big action star. So definitely love The Rundown. Check that one out if you haven't seen it. In 2004, he did his next movie, Walking Tall. He played Chris Vaughn as basically a military guy who's come back home, see his family and friends, goes to a new casino that one of his friends had opened up, but the casino was selling drugs and all kinds of stuff. And Rock gets jumped, he gets mugged, he gets beat up, basically left for dead. And the rest of the movie is a revenge tale of him getting revenge on all the guys that were involved in the drug selling at the casino. It's an awesome movie, man. I love Walking Tall. This was, for being so early in his career, this was a movie that came out and really solidified that he had some acting chops. He did a really great job in this one, and I highly recommend Walking Tall, one of my favorite movies that he's done. Then in 2005, this is when he started to kind of get away from the WWE and started to just basically move into movies full time. He did Be Cool, where he played Elliot, and Be Cool, a lot of people did not see. Be Cool also was actually a sequel to Get Shorty. Get Shorty was a movie that came out with John Travolta, and it had done really well. Danny DeVito, really, really good little cast. Gene Hackman, I believe, was in it. So they wanted to do a sequel. John Travolta came back, and they did Be Cool. And The Rock was in this movie. He's kind of a side character in this film, but he plays this character named Elliot, who is a bodyguard with Vince Vaughn, and he just wants to be a movie star. And he's got a scene in this movie where he recites a line to Bring It On, and it cracks me up every single time. This movie is very underrated. Not too many people saw it at all. And for being a sequel to Get Shorty, I expected it to do better. It didn't do all that much. But I recommend it just to see The Rock if you haven't seen this movie, because he kills it in this film. And I really, really enjoy it. I actually, when I saw it the first time, I didn't care for it very much. And then I rewatched it about a year later, and I loved it. And now I have it on Blu-ray, and I really enjoy Be Cool. So lots of big stars in this one. So definitely check out Be Cool. Then in 2005, which is also the same year that Be Cool came out, in 2005 he did Doom. Yes, the video game adaptation Doom, where he played Sarge. And this was pretty cool. It was an R-rated film, sci-fi, based on the video game. The movie debuted at number 1, but then quickly kind of faded away. And a lot of people hate this movie. This movie gets a ton of hate. I mean, it falls right in line with everybody saying video game movies suck. I actually really like Doom. Given for what it is, this movie's got The Rock. It's got Carl Urban. It's got Rosamund Pike. I think it has a great cast. It had some good twist in it. Even The Rock's character had some good twist. It had that cool POV perspective at one point, like the video game. I really enjoyed Doom. So I'm not going to say it's the greatest movie, but I enjoyed it for what it was. So that came out in 2005. Then in 2006, he came out in a movie called Southland Tales, where he played a couple different characters in the film. This movie is probably the biggest one on his whole filmography that I don't like. This is the only movie that I don't own that The Rock has done. There was a Blockbuster closing in my neighborhood a couple years ago, and all the DVDs and Blu-rays were on sale for like $2. And they had Southland Tales there, and I still didn't buy it because I was like, it's not even worth my $2. I hated this movie. It was so bad. It was such a clusterfuck. It was all over the place. I don't even know, man. It had a massive cast, and I was looking so forward to this movie, and I just hated it. So, yeah, Southland Tales 2006. He was gonna do a Spy Hunter movie at one point. They actually released a new video game. He played Alex Decker in the video game, and they were like, oh, we're gonna do a movie based on the video game, and then that never happened. So, one of the projects that kind of fell by the wayside. In 2006, this is when he kind of started to get billed as Dwayne Johnson. It was Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson at the time, and he did Gridiron Gang. This was a really cool football movie. I'm not a big sports guy. I don't usually care for football-type sports movies, but once again, The Rock made me watch it, and I really enjoyed Gridiron Gang. It's one of my lesser favorite Rock movies, but I did really enjoy it, and I do own it, so definitely. In 2007, he popped up in an uncredited cameo in the Reno 911 movie. I love his cameo. His cameo in this Reno 911 Miami movie is one of my favorite cameos, I think, of all time. It's so good. If you haven't seen it, I'm not going to spoil it for you, but go watch Reno 911 Miami. First of all, it's just a hilarious movie. Second of all, for the Rock cameo, because it's awesome. In 2007, he signed a deal with Disney, and he was doing a lot of Disney kind of kiddie movies, and he came out with The Game Plan. This was a movie where, once again, he played a football player who finds out he has a daughter, and she comes to live with him for a little bit, and he's trying to see. At first, he's so arrogant, and he wants nothing to do with the little girl, and then, of course, in typical Disney fashion, he ends up loving her and wanting her to be a part of his life. I really like The Game Plan, especially now. I have a daughter. She's 2 years old. You heard her voice a little bit earlier, and she's my world, man. And like when I watch this movie now, it just hits me in such a soft place. And this is a really sweet movie, and it's a good family film, and I really, really enjoy The Game Plan. So check that one out if you haven't seen it. In 2008, he did Get Smart. I love Get Smart. He played Agent 23. This was the Steve Carell, Anne Hathaway comedy based on the old school television show. He was Agent 23. He was kind of like the James Bond, the real awesome agent that they call in when they want to get shit done. And he was great in this movie. I mean, once again, kind of a side character, but when he was on screen, he stole it. And a nice little twist in his character towards the end as well. So definitely watch Get Smart if you haven't seen that. It is such a funny movie. In 2009, he did Race to Witch Mountain, which was another Disney movie. Basically, two alien kids trying to get back to their ship. He's trying to help them. Fun little movie. Once again, a Disney movie, family movie, but fun. In 2009, he got into the animated world, and he did a little animated film called Planet 51, where he voiced a character named Captain Charles T. Baker, which was an alien invasion animated film. Pretty decent little movie there. In 2010, he did The Tooth Fairy, and this is kind of where his career started to kind of falter. Tooth Fairy came out. People started to make fun. They were like, what the hell's The Rock doing, man? He's doing the Tooth Fairy? Are you serious? It actually isn't that bad of a movie, but it's a low light, that's for damn sure. And after Tooth Fairy, The Rock fired his manager, and I think his company that shopped him around basically to the outlets for roles, and he hired some new representation, which then kind of got him onto the right start. And we got away from the Disney stuff, and we started doing some really cool stuff. And it started in 2010 when he did The Other Guys. The Other Guys is an awesome, hilarious movie with Will Ferrell and Mark Wahlberg. And The Rock is only in the movie for a little bit. He's in the whole beginning of the film with him and Samuel L. Jackson, where they're like the two most badass cops you could possibly get. I love this. And they're so good in this movie. Like I said, he's probably only in maybe the first 10-15 minutes of this film, but him and Samuel L. Jackson steal this movie. Check out The Other Guys, 2010. It was a good turnaround there. Also in 2010, this is when things really started to shift. He did a rated R movie called Faster. And for some reason, a lot of people still haven't seen Faster. I love this movie. He was so intense in this film. This is a violent film where basically he gets shot and left for dead, and he comes back to extract revenge. And he is so ruthless in this role. This is when you were like, okay, this Disney shit is out the window. This is a bad mother effer. And Faster is a great movie. Definitely check that one out. He then became franchise Viagra in 2011 as he joined the fifth Fast and Furious film, Fast 5, as he played Hobbs. A no-nonsense cop, special agent, whatever you want to call Hobbs. It's kind of a weird fine line behind that character. But I loved him in Fast 5. Fast 5 is my personal favorite of the Fast and Furious franchise. And it was mainly because of The Rock stepping into this film. The Rock is chasing Vin Diesel and the gang in this movie the whole time. Very, very cool. One of the best fight scenes with him and Vin Diesel. I mean, slamming each other through walls, all kinds of crazy shit. This was awesome right now. I was so happy he joined up with the Fast and Furious movies because I was always a fan of this franchise, and then him coming into it just made it that much better. So that was very cool. He continued his streak there of jumping into sequels by joining on to Journey to the Center of the Earth 2. The movie was called Journey to the Mysterious Island, and in 2012 he played Hank, and joined this franchise. They kicked out Brendan Fraser and they said, come on over, Rock. And he said, all right. And this is a good little family film again, and that's what was cool about The Rock was he was making some really good decisions as far as roles here. He was doing really dark rated R stuff, good PG-13 action, family stuff, comedy. He was all over the place, and it was really, really good. He was really stretching his acting muscles, and it was good, man. So he did Journey 2. It was a massive hit. And really, like I said, everybody started calling him Franchise Viagra because he was coming in to movie series that he didn't start, but he was making better. And that continued here from him jumping into Fast 5, then into Journey 2. After Journey 2, in 2013, he did a movie called Snitch. He played John Matthews in Snitch. And this was a really, really good movie, too. This movie here is what when people start to talk about that The Rock is actually becoming a very good actor, people will refer to Snitch. He's so good in this movie. It's a true story about him trying to make things better for his son who's gone to jail. And it's a very serious movie, and he's not like the badass Rock in this movie. Like, he gets his ass kicked. He's just a regular guy in this film, and he killed it. And so definitely check out Snitch if you haven't seen it, back in 2013. Also in 2013, he was on a massive streak. He did the most movies in 2013, man. He was in the theater 6 times that year. He, what was it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, 5 times. Sorry. So he killed it in 2013. So Snitch came out. A couple months later, G.I. Joe Retaliation came out. Once again, franchise Viagra coming into the second G.I. Joe movie. He played Roadblock, and it was awesome. He was such a great addition to the G.I. Joe film. I liked the first G.I. Joe movie, but Retaliation #2 is way better, and mainly because The Rock came into it. So it's a really good movie. He is supposed to be in G.I. Joe 3, but they keep pushing the film back, so we don't know any solid details on this. We do know they still plan to try to do G.I. Joe 3, and that he should be obviously a big part of that, coming back as Roadblock. But that movie was supposed to get done last year, and then they pushed it back to this year, and it ain't happening this year, so they're still figuring out the script on that one, but he should be back as Roadblock in the next G.I. Joe movie. But he was a great addition here in 2013 for G.I. Joe Retaliation. Also in 2013, he did a movie called Empire State. He played Detective James Ransom. This movie also starred Liam Hemsworth. Basically, The Rock plays a cop who's investigating some stolen money. And I didn't care for this movie. This movie kind of lost me. This film also wasn't very good due to the fact that they actually pulled it from a theatrical release and it went straight to VOD and to home video. I think everybody realized, this isn't the best movie. So Empire State got pulled, but it still came out that year on VOD, and I watched it in support of him, but this is actually one of the rare Rock movies that I do not own because I just did not care for this film at all. But I believe you can watch it on Netflix. I believe it's on Netflix, so you can check out Empire State if you're interested. Then, in 2013, he did Pain and Gain, where he played Paul Doyle. Pain and Gain, I'm going on record right now, my favorite role The Rock has ever done. If you haven't seen Pain and Gain, it was on Netflix. Check it out on there. Hopefully it's still there for you. I love Pain and Gain. This is directed by Michael Bay, starring Mark Wahlberg, with The Rock, Anthony Mackie. Awesome, true story tale about these weightlifters who tried to pull off a kidnapping to collect some insurance money. It's crazy. It's a crazy story, but The Rock is so good in this movie. He steals it. Every scene he's in, he steals. He killed me in this movie. I love Pain and Gain. And he delivers, I think, the best quote of his career, too, which was, they have the guy kidnapped, and he tries to escape, and The Rock grabs him, captures him again, ties him back up, and he says, I'm going to see if I can remember this properly. He goes, God has granted me many gifts, and one of them is the ability to knock someone the fuck out. And that line made me die laughing in the movie theater. God has granted me many gifts, and one of them is the ability to knock someone the fuck out. And he's just, once again, just so good in this film. Definitely watch Pain and Gain if you haven't seen it. Then in 2013, he came back for another Fast and Furious 6, once again reprising his role as Hobbs. Another awesome Fast and Furious movie. This is my second favorite of the franchise. This time he kind of teams up with them, so no more chasing them, teams up with them, and it's pretty awesome. So, we love the Fast and Furious series. In 2014, he did Hercules, and there was 2 Hercules movies that year. One with Kellen Lutz that completely bombed in the box office, and then this one here, which did decently well. I enjoyed Hercules. It was a fun movie. I usually don't care for movies like this, but once again, The Rock was so good in it, I had to watch. And it was a pretty fun movie. That's all I could say about it. It wasn't great, but it was fun, and I really enjoyed myself during it. Then in 2015, he came back once again for Furious 7, reprising his role as Hobbs for the 3rd time in the 7th installment of Fast and Furious, which we, of course, said goodbye to Paul Walker. Went through that trouble, and it was really heartbreaking. But they stuck through. They finished this movie. I think because of scheduling issues or whatever, he didn't do too much in this film. He gets hurt in the beginning, and then he basically is laid up in the hospital for most of the film until the very end when Daddy's got to go to work. But when he's there, he's pretty damn awesome. Oh, did you bring the cavalry? Woman, I am the cavalry. So he's so good as Hobbs. There's definitely rumors going around that Universal Pictures may be wanting to do a Hobbs spin-off film. I would not be hating on that. That'd be pretty damn awesome. In 2015, he did San Andreas. This, of course, was the earthquake disaster movie, and Warner Brothers put it out. It was the biggest movie of the year for Warner Brothers that year. Did very, very well, and yeah, I really enjoyed this movie. I saw it in IMAX 3D, and it was awesome. I love disaster films, and this was one of the better ones that I've seen in a long time. Great film. My only beef with it is The Rock is, he's a rescue pilot whose the whole job is to help people, right? And his daughter and his ex-wife are trapped wherever because of this earthquake, and he basically is running through town passing all these people that really need help just to get his family back. I guess you can't really fault him for wanting to get his family back, but at the same time, it's just kind of funny, almost in a comical way, when you're watching the movie, that you're like, dude, you just passed all these people that need help. So that's the only thing, but San Andreas is a lot of fun, so definitely check that one out if you haven't seen it. And that leads us right up into this weekend, ladies and gentlemen, right here, this Friday night, from when I'm recording here. I'm recording this here on June 14th. And this Friday is going to be Central Intelligence. This is the movie he did with Kevin Hart, where he plays he plays like an FBI agent, a CIA. Sorry, I'm in the CIA. He plays a CIA agent who was basically in high school. He was picked on as a kid, and Kevin Hart was the big popular kid, and now he goes back for like his high school reunion, meets back up with Kevin Hart, and needs his help to solve a crime. But it looks like an action comedy. I love the trailers for it. All the early word going around is that it's super, super funny. I would hope so, with a teaming like The Rock and Kevin Hart. And I cannot wait to see Central Intelligence. So I'll have a review of that on the next Am I on the Air for sure. These guys loved making this movie together so much that they said they would definitely want to do more projects together in the future. And they got one lined up that we'll talk about here in a minute. But yeah, they just have such a brotherly chemistry going on from doing Central Intelligence that, yeah, they got some good stuff. So I can't wait to see that on Friday. Also coming out this year, in November, he's going back into the animated world as he's a part of Disney and their new film, Moana. Moana comes out in November, and he plays a character named Maui. And the teaser trailer for this movie just came out on Sunday night. We posted it up on the Am I on the Air Facebook and Twitter page. We talked about it on the last Am I on the Air show. Really cute little teaser trailer. This is going to be another massive hit for Disney for sure come November. So look for that. Another film coming out this year. He's also got TV. He's got a TV show right now called Ballers, which is on HBO. He plays Spencer Strassmore. He's an ex-NFL guy who now is a money manager, and he tries to help all the other football players manage their money, basically, plain and simple. And it was a great first season on HBO, very big hit. And they're bringing it back for season 2, which will start in July. So, and then we know next year he's got Fast 8, which is currently filming, as he once again is going to be Hobbs for the 4th time. He's doing Baywatch. Yes, Baywatch, based on the old school 80s television show. He's playing Mitch Buchanan, which of course is the classic role that David Hasselhoff played on the TV show, so that's what he's playing. This movie is not taking itself seriously. It's going to be an raunchy, R-rated, over-the-top comedy, kind of in the vein of like a 21 Jump Street style. I cannot wait to see Baywatch. I think it's going to be so awesome. So that comes out next year in 2017 as well. Let's just talk about upcoming projects. This is where it gets funny. Because like I said, on Am I on the Air, we're always talking about new projects he's signing on to. So let's talk about some of these upcoming projects. Number 1, San Andreas 2. They have announced they're going to do a sequel. He's coming back, reprising his role. It makes sense. Like I said, it made a lot of money. It was the biggest movie for Warner Brothers last year. San Andreas 2 is coming. He's also doing Rampage. Based on the arcade video game, he's doing Rampage. I think it's going to be pretty awesome. I can't wait to see that. He is, like I said, got Fast 8 next year. We got Baywatch next year. He is also signed on to do another Journey to the Center of the Earth movie, Journey 3 from the Earth to the Moon. He signed on for it. No word yet when that's going to actually film, but that's a project that he's a part of. He is going to be doing Jumanji. They're doing a Jumanji reboot, and he's going to be in it with Kevin Hart, and Jack Black is also a part of it, and there's also supposed to be some other really cool casting news coming here soon, so Jumanji is coming. That'll be really, really cool. Looking forward to that. He's announced as being Black Adam in the Shazam movie. He's going to be a part of the DC Cinematic Universe, as he's going to play the bad guy, Black Adam, in the Shazam movie, but Shazam doesn't come out to 2019. I feel like he might pop up in the Justice League movies, expose us to the character Shazam, or Black Adam, way before we get to the Shazam movie, but we'll see. It's far away, but I'm hoping that we get a little taste of his character beforehand. He has just been officially confirmed and signed on to be Doc Savage, which technically is the world's first superhero. The movie will be directed by Shane Black, who did Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, Iron Man 3, and just did The Nice Guys. He's directing Doc Savage after he does the next Predator movie, and The Rock will be playing the title role of Doc Savage. So there's another one for you that he signed on to. Let's see here. And I have more. So, he has also just signed on with Universal Pictures to star in the Robert Ludlum thriller series, The Jansen Directive. This is supposed to be another franchise for The Rock. This is done in the vein of the Bourne Identity franchise that Matt Damon has. Rock is going to jump in and play play Jansen. This is based on all those books that came out, and he's going to be playing the title role, and they're going to want to do multiple movies. So this is a big one right here, man. This is a very big one. Can you imagine him having his own Bourne series to go to as just this awesome kick-ass guy? That's what's happening. He signed on for that. He is also signed on for Disney to do a Jungle Cruise movie, because Disney likes making movies based on their rides. So he is going to be doing Jungle Cruise over at Disney. Not much else news has been released on this one, but we know Jungle Cruise is coming. He is doing a remake of Big Trouble in Little China. Yes, the Kurt Russell film from the 80s. He's remaking it, and it's supposed to be awesome. So I cannot wait to see his version of Big Trouble in Little China. He also, just literally a couple weeks ago, signed on to do a new film called Skyscraper, which will be shot in China. And basically, they're comparing this to a new Die Hard type of film. Legendary Pictures has won the bidding war, and will be releasing the China set action movie Skyscraper. So who knows when this one will actually be filmed or come out, but it's another project he's doing. There's two more projects that basically he signed on to a couple years ago, but we haven't heard much on since. One film is called Not Without Hope, which is a film based on the best-selling memoir by Tampa resident Nick Schuler, the lone survivor of a 2009 accident that left 3 of his friends dead in the Gulf of Mexico. This is a crazy true story that The Rock was really passionate about making. I don't think it's been filmed, so I have no idea if they're even still going to move forward with this movie or not. It was announced back in 2013, so it might have fallen off, but Not Without Hope was a film he was attached to star in. And another film he was attached to star in was SEAL Team 666. Yes. It was going to be an action-adventure movie. The people that wrote his Hercules film wrote the screenplay for it. And Rock was supposed to executive produce the film, be a part of his, his company. It was based on the book, which follows an elite group of Navy SEALs who battle demons and assorted threats and discover that there's a greater supernatural force bent on destroying the world. This one sounds crazy. So, but once again, this film was also announced back in 2013 as well, and nothing much has happened with it since. So he's got a couple projects that have been announced, but nothing is really moving on it right now. And then, but did you hear how many projects I literally just ran through? I mean, it's insane when you really look at the fact that that he is almost signs onto a project on a weekly basis. I still stand by the fact that I think he's been cloned. I think he has a clone running around that does half of his stuff. Let's not forget the appearances that this guy makes at children's hospitals, doing Make-A-Wish. When he pops back up in WWE from time to time, going to be at WrestleMania, you know. I don't understand how he does it and still spends like 3 hours a day in a gym. I just don't see how it's possible. Some days I don't even know, like how I'm going to have time to do laundry, let alone like make so many movies. This dude, like, if you follow him on Instagram, you see like he'll like start the day at like 4 a.m. He's at the gym for like 3 or 4 hours. Then he's like, I'm on the set at Baywatch and we just filmed blah 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 blah. And then in the afternoon he's like, I'm on the set of Furious 8 and we're filming blah blah blah. And then like at night he's like, hey, I'm on the set of Ballers and we're making like he's doing like 3 shows in like one day. I'm like, how do you do this? How do you do this? I don't get it, but mad respect. I love you, Rock. I think you're amazing. You show what it means to be a hard-working son of a bitch. And you're the man, dude. And that's why I dedicate this podcast to you. Rock rolls. Lots of rock rolls. We'll continue to probably make it a segment on Am I on the Air every week, because it's become just one of those things. We got to talk about the new projects that The Rock signs on to. He's got so many over the next coming years. I can't wait to see him, in Doc Savage. I really can't wait to see him in the Shazam movie as Black Adam. I think he's going to kick so much ass. The Robert Ludlum thing, Jumanji, like so much stuff. I can't wait to Baywatch next year, Furious 8. The project list goes on and on and on and on and on. And there's probably even more projects that he signed up for that I'm somehow forgetting or spacing, because who can keep up with the demand that this guy does? I don't think anybody can. We're all subject to forget something, some project that he's done. And this is on top that he's producing. He's got a TV show that he's producing in the vein of Fast and Furious. He's done TV shows on top of him doing Ballers. He did 2 different TV shows. He did now I'm spacing it, but he did 2 different shows on TNT. One was like a competition show where he was the host of, and then the other one was one where he went and visited people that were like down on their luck and he helped get them motivated. Great stuff. He's going to do another one, I think, for HBO where he goes to like prisons and does like the tough talk with kids and people. He's also, he's got his company called $7 Entertainment, I believe, where he, he's producing stuff for CNN, for FX, for Fox. Like, he's got his hand in so many pots. It's crazy. The guy is a mogul. He's the best. He's one of the biggest movie stars in the world right now. We're in an age where not too many movie stars can open a movie based on their name power. But Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson's one of those guys. Everybody loves him. I always joke and say, he's the guy that all the guys want to be, and he's the dude that all the girls want to be with. He's the ultimate man's man for damn sure. I don't know anybody that doesn't like The Rock. We all love him. He's the most charismatic man in all of entertainment. He's the people's champ, and we're going to have many, many projects to savor for years and years to come. A great filmography, a great ride so far from literally 2001 all the way now, and for years to come. We've got projects booked all the way out to 2020. So let's rock and roll and keep reaching for them stars like Rock does every single day. I hope you've enjoyed this little special Am I Still in the Air focused on Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. Rock rolls! It was a lot of fun to sit and talk about this. Like I said, keep your ear to the ground. Keep listening for Am I on the Air for all the upcoming rock rolls that are headed your way from the hardest working man in show business. My name is Don Mega. You can follow me on Twitter at DXDonMega. Follow the show on Twitter at Am I On The Air. Our official webpage is amiontheair.com. You can definitely subscribe to us on iTunes, and we're also available on reddragonsradio.com as well. So I'll leave you with that, and until next time, y'all. Peace!
Red Dragon.